other golfers were playing some cornhole, kind of, getting yourself a little loose as we see right now. How did you fare out there on the green?
On the cornhole?
Oh, yeah, cornhole.
Me and my caddy, we were 2-0 for the brief period we were playing. I was able to practice a lot this year at school. I go to Radford, and Thursdays we play a lot of cornhole, so I've honed my skills.
So essentially, you got a heads up on the other guys on the cornhole.
You'd have to ask Bryce Corbett. He claims to be the best on our team, but
going 2-0, you got the advantage.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about day one. You ended the round with the lead coming into round number 2. How did you think the course played yesterday as opposed to the time you were able to be on the course right now?
Pretty similar. My caddy and I noticed the greens maybe were a little firmer. Noticed that on 10, but, I mean, it's in perfect shape. So, yeah, it's playing about the same. Maybe a little windier today because of the storms, but, yeah, about the same.
You mentioned a couple of differences that you noticed from last year when you played to this year, and you specifically mentioned 15 and also 18.
Yeah, new tee on 15 that I had never seen before. That's a pretty cool addition. And then 18's playing a little longer. I like that. It's pretty cool. But other than that, about the same.
Mindset right now, we're 2 hours plus into this weather delay. What's your mindset right now with the possibility of maybe finishing the round today or possibility of having a long day here on Sunday?
Yeah, hopefully we can get back out. With college golf, we play a lot of 36-hole days, so that's something we're all kind of used to. But yeah, hopefully we can finish up some holes in the dark, and then I guess it'd probably be an early morning. So it's just how it is.
We appreciate the time.
Yep.
Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nick Talaferro, currently the leader here in round 2 at the State Open of Virginia. Lane.
Thanks, Sean. And Nick knows this course very well, having played in high school at James River, which is about 2 par 5s away from this location right here. Played a lot of his high school golf here, and is one of the best players on Radford. Radford has about 2/3 of their team here playing in this State Open. Want to bring in Zach Daniel, our chief meteorologist here at CBS 6 in Richmond. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at and the possibility of how fast this stuff is going to get through.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's been all around us. Haven't gotten much here. Starting to get a little bit of light rainfall at this time, and it looks like it's going to get a little bit heavier before it comes to an end. You're looking at radar here with Independence right in the middle of your screen. So you can see that what we've got at this time is fairly light. That's what the light shades of green and even some darker shades of green would indicate. But back to the west, and when you see what's going on back in more of the central part of Powhatan County, it's heavier rainfall. That's along 522. So, about 8 to 10 miles due west of us. That is going to be coming in, and some more lightning back toward Goochland. I'll put all this in motion. And you see everything just continues to move from roughly west to east across the area. It has weakened, though, as it's moved in. That's kind of been a theme for today, as this stuff just kind of has fallen apart as it's approached us. But there's been enough lightning around where you just can't take that chance. Could we have gotten away with playing? Yeah, but that's nothing that you would ever do on this circuit or any other mini tour or major tour anywhere in the world. You just can't take that risk. The one concern that I have after this line moves through, it should be great. We should be able to get these guys back out there. But there is that shower in southern sections of Albemarle County. It has intensified a little bit. Guys, that's really the only thing I see that would keep us from maybe getting these guys out there in the next hour to hour and 15 minutes.
And Robert, outside of the lightning risk, which we all understand, what is the level of rain that they will say, you can get through on this? Is it any one set thing, or does it really determine on, the effect overall on the golf course more than the players?
It's really going to be the effect on the golf course, and if they have any standing water on the greens. And these greens, as mentioned earlier, they drain tremendously well. No problem there. And so as long as we can dodge a lightning, I think guys will be able to get out and play. If they have a driving rainstorm, obviously they'll pull everybody in. But short of that, I think we'll be able to get out and play a lot of holes.
Sunset tonight, Zach, is it after 8 o'clock?
It is after 8 o'clock. This time of year is great for this kind of thing. If you're going to have a delay, you can get the guys out there. And normally they would probably want to be wrapping things up by 6:30. But if they've got to go to 8:30, I think they can do it. And they're probably going to try to play as much as they can today, given the amount of delay they've already experienced.
We had about an hour and 15-minute delay yesterday. Our delay right now is approaching about 2.5 hours, but when they get them back out, we will show them to you. Zach, thanks very much for hanging out. We will keep his radar handy for the next couple of minutes and find out when we will get back underway. When we come back, we will talk with former champion Mark Lawrence, who is second on the leaderboard, one shot behind right now. You're watching the 2022 State Open of Virginia, and we'll be back right after this.
The State Open of Virginia, sponsored by Bojangles. It's bow time.
At Kroger, we believe it takes the right team to bring you fresh produce. That's why we partner with farmers who grow only the best, because working together is truly what it takes to be fresh for everyone. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Local attractions in the Petersburg region will give you, your family, and friends an authentic experience to remember. Find an escape in the canopy of the forest. Feel the power of 11,000 horsepower and step back in time to farm life, classic cars, trucks, and more. Explore some of the best historic locations and attractions the region has to offer, along with award-winning, one-of-a-kind military museums. Visit and share what you love in the best part of Virginia.
What's so great about being a Kroger Boost member? Free delivery on the Kroger products you love and more rewards like double fuel points. Boost by Kroger Plus, a new level of membership starting as low as $59 a year. Learn more at Kroger.com.
Meal for two? We've got you. At Burger King with the 2 for $10 meal deal, you get 2 sandwiches plus 2 fries and 2 drinks for just $10. One meal for you, another one for, well, you decide. The 2 for $10 meal deal, only at Burger King.
You're gonna wanna hear this. It's your turn to sell us your car. Small cars, big cars, green cars, blue cars, classics, clunkers, even if it has a few dents in the bumper. Haley Automotive will buy it from you and will pay top dollar for it. Go to HaleyAuto.com for more information, or just bring your car in to any of our 10 locations and get an instant offer. Oh, and if you just so happen to be in the market for a new car, we do trades too.
Haley has it.
Yes, we do.
Galen College of Nursing is where dedicated people become exceptional nurses, where nurturing instructors help ensure your success, where excellence in nursing education has been our sole focus for over 30 years, and where compassion and quality drive our mission, so you can achieve your dreams. This is pure nursing. This is Galen College of Nursing. Start your journey at our new Richmond campus. Visit galencollege.edu.
It's bow time. You know our food. Now meet our crew. Brandon's frying up chicken boldly seasoned and marinated for 12 hours.
Chicken's up.
Kathy has our 49-step biscuit recipe memorized.
I could tell you, but that's a different ad.
Crystal fixes the fixins on the stovetop, while LaToya keeps the whole thing running smoothly.
Now we're cooking.
And Joe's always here, so he's on the team too.
I am?
Because at Bojangles, we're always serving up down-home, handmade Southern cooking with a side of pride. It's bow time.
The State Open of Virginia is brought to you by Edward Jones, making sense of investing. CBS 6, the only local TV sports coverage in town.
This one today is going on about 2.5 hours, but as we just saw the radar, this is the last line that should move through, and with any luck, the golfers will be back on the course shortly, and we'll be able to get more of this second round underway. Speaking of which, last year's runner-up and the 2020 champion Mark Lawrence is once again in contention this year. He had an afternoon tee time today, teed off just after 1 o'clock. As you see there, he's 1 shot behind Nick Talaferro and 3 ahead of a group of golfers that are 3 under par, including former champ Jack Montague. Here are some of his highlights from the beginning of his second round today. Again, he went off around 1:03 today. Lawrence in his group playing with Cameron Yancey and the state amateur champion this year. And there is his approach on the first hole, setting up a birdie putt, but this one just slides by, and that would keep him at 5 under, which is where he started his round today, as he taps in for par on 1. And then on the par 4, the long par 4 second hole here, his drive found the fairway down the right-hand side, and then his approach, and that's pretty good. So he has a tap in here, just a 2-footer for his birdie. That got him to 6 under par and kept him 1 shot behind Taliaferro. The third hole here is a shorter par 4, dog leg to the left to a bit of an elevated green. And from where he was, Robert, that was not an easy approach, and he landed it short of the green.
No, and this is one of the more difficult par 4s on the golf course. Even though it's a short hole, it requires tremendous accuracy. Great little pitch up there to save his par.
Short game saving Lawrence on that hole, and you notice he has that left wrist bandaged up. That has been an injury that he has been dealing with now for over a year. It was a bit of a concern here last year in his quest to win a second State Open title. There is his shot out of the bunker on the 4th hole, and that would be the last shot he would be able to play, as play was stopped and suspended because of weather just after that. So when he comes back, he will have that putt for a par on the 4th hole, and he is now with our Sean Robertson inside to talk about how well he played already and how well he hopes to play throughout the rest of the day. Sean?
Thanks, Lane. I was watching Mark when he was checking out the highlights. Very stoic. Didn't show a lot of emotion when checking out the highlights. So I'm trying to figure out, how did you think you looked out there?
Decent start. Getting a birdie on the second hole is always nice. It's not an easy par 4, but I mean, I hit a great tee shot on 1. I wasn't really thrilled with my wedge shot. So, you know, a lot of golf left. Overall, pretty happy.
They were talking about the wrist while the highlights were being shown. How is your wrist feeling right now?
It's totally fine. I got a cortisone about a week and a half ago, and we're good to go for the time being, so we're good.
Nothing would stop you from playing this year's State Open, obviously.
I sure hope not.
We were talking before we came on about the mindset right now. Okay, there's a possibility we could get back on the course for a couple of hours before darkness sets. What's your mindset right now? Possibility of playing some more today, maybe a full day on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd love to get back out there today. You know, whenever that happens, just go out there and go back to the game plan, try to go out there and make some birdies, and then just be prepared for tomorrow to be a long day.
The advantage of this being your home course, coming from Godwin High School, you've been on this course numerous times. You finished runner-up last year on this course. Give me some of those advantages of being on this course, being familiar with the greens and things of that nature.
Yeah, I think that definitely plays a factor. I would say the biggest thing is probably the tee shots, just the comfort you have knowing, you know, you've played the course a lot. You feel you get on a certain tee shots where if you don't play it all the time, you know, you see the mistakes, you see where you don't want to hit it, but you've played it enough. You got the confidence that you're going to hit the shots. So it just, I guess the number of rounds I've played here definitely helps.
You've played a few holes through the first couple of rounds. What do you like about the course this year?
I mean, the course is perfect. The greens are incredible. The ball is like glued to the ground. It's not bumping at all, and it's rolling really, really, really well.
Mark, appreciate the time. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
Mark Lawrence getting ready, hopefully, to see some more action here on day 2 at the State Open of Virginia. Lane?
Yeah, Sean, we're all hoping the same as well, that he gets to get out there again. And, you know, Robert, you won this event 3 times, and I have to believe that you were the favorite at least 1 or 2 of those times, given your pedigree and given your past history in this event. With a guy like Mark Lawrence, who is expected to be a contender, he won in 2020, was expected to contend last year and did, is expected to contend this year and is already. What kind of different pressure is that to put on oneself when you are expected to be atop the leaderboard?
Well, I think at this point he embraces that pressure, because for the last 6 years in this tournament, the worst he's finished is 4th place. He's won it once, been runner-up 3 different times. He's been a contender every year. So I think that he loves that pressure now. He turned professional, obviously, a little over a year ago, and this is his career path. This is what he wants to do, and guys that want to do this, they love that pressure. They're like, put me out there, put me against the heat bring out the best and let them play their best, because I want to beat them when I'm playing my best too.
As he said, they're already gearing themselves for a long day tomorrow. Yeah. Last year, the back end of the leaderboard had to finish up early Sunday morning. Then they would go out. They changed the tees and the pins a little bit, and then they go back out again. They were trying to maybe start a little bit earlier tomorrow to avoid some of the weather that is affecting us today. But it's interesting to hear him say, I'm expecting a long day tomorrow already.
And that's the voice of an experienced player. They know going into a week like this, Central Virginia, July, you're likely to have some thunderstorms and some delays in a tournament like this. So the experienced players know how to handle this. They'll take some time away. Maybe they'll play cornhole. Maybe they'll go in the locker room. Maybe they'll go sit in the car and listen to music. Everybody's got a little bit different way of approaching this, but the important thing is the experienced player knows, okay, I've got a plan B. I've got a plan C. And the younger players, Brandon Sipe, for instance, he's only 13 years old, and he is 3 over for the tournament so far after 6 holes today, and he could actually make the cut in this tournament, which is really impressive. But he wasn't even sure what the protocols would be about playing tomorrow. So, and he doesn't know what to do in this situation. But it's such a great learning experience for him. But for a guy like Mark Lawrence, he's been here before. He's done this before. And so he knows what to expect and how to manage his time.
With the top 60 in ties at the cut line, the projected cut right now is about 3 over par, which would be 10 shots behind our leader. Mark Lawrence, Robert Wren are part of the history of this storied event. And who better to explain the history than one of the most famous golfers to ever come from the Richmond area and the Commonwealth? Our own Bobby Watkins takes a look back at the history of this event.
Hi, I'm Bobby Watkins, and welcome to Independence, the home of this year's Virginia State Open. We're looking like we're going to have a great tournament. The golf course is in absolutely fantastic shape. I was lucky enough to play it last week, and I couldn't find a bad piece of grass on it. Our State Open is rich in history. We have some of the names that go back in the past to Chandler Harper, Bobby Cruikshank. You have Curtis and Tom Strange. For you young guys, Tom Strange was Curtis's dad. We got the Sneeds, JC and Sam, and you even have Lanny and I. We have 4 of us in the Virginia Hall of Fame, and we have 3 of them, Lanny and Sam and Curtis, in the World Golf Hall of Fame. So if you have aspirations of taking golf to another level in the state of Virginia, you probably need to play in our State Open and maybe play good. And ending on a great note, I was lucky enough in 1981, 82, and 83 to win this tournament. And in 81, I was lucky enough to meet my wife. And in 2 months, we'll be married 39 years. So it turned out to be a great State Open for me. Not only did I win some money, I got a beautiful wife. We're very proud to be a part of the Virginia State Open. Thank you.
Thanks to Bobby Watkins for his look back at the history of the State Open of Virginia. We continue in a weather delay here at Independence. Nick Talaferro leads Mark Lawrence by 1 shot, and a group are 4 shots back at 3 under par. When we return, we will talk with the youngest player in this year's event, 13-year-old Brandon Sipe of Yorktown. Will join our Sean Robertson next. You're watching the 2022 State Open of Virginia from Independence.
The State Open of Virginia, brought to you by Peter Millar, available at Franco's Lakeside and Short Pump.
If you're a golfer, the Virginia State Golf Association wants you. For less than the cost of a dozen balls, membership includes a handicap index to track your progress, compete and participate in events, but membership is about more than a number. There's also the Virginia Golfer magazine, access to great courses, and most importantly, being part of a community of players who share a passion for the game. Membership is available to golfers of all ages and abilities, and sign up is quick and easy. Available 24/7. Visit VSGA.org to see which option is right for you. That's VSGA.org. Join us.
Impeccable. Uncompromising. A class all its own. When you're at your best, it shows.
Hi, I'm Charles Barker, and I invite you to discover possibly one of the best values in America, and at prices you can only dream of.
Visit Mercedes-Benz of Virginia Beach.
Years ago, the Good Feet store put me in one of their TV commercials. I wasn't able to do something that I loved because of my foot pain. I wasn't able to go on hikes. I got these arch supports years ago, and they're still kicking. They are still really helping and still making such a difference, and I just want to clamber around on these rocks. Bounce around like a little billy goat. That's what I want to do. I'm Moira, and this is my Good Feet story.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
If you're a golfer, the Virginia State Golf Association wants you. For less than the cost of a dozen balls, membership includes a handicap index to track your progress, compete and participate in events, but membership is about more than a number. There's also the Virginia Golfer magazine, access to great courses, and most importantly, being part of a community of players who share a passion for the game. Membership is available to golfers of all ages and abilities, and sign up is quick and easy. Available 24/7. Visit vsga.org to see which option is right for you. That's vsga.org. Join us.
Hey Richmond, if you're looking to update that old bathroom, then now is the time to call Virginia Shower and Bath. We're offering no interest for 3 full years, and we're giving you $1,000 off our everyday bottom line pricing. That's right, call or go online and make your appointment today, and you'll pay no interest for a full 36 months and get $1,000 off. Call or go online to Virginia Shower and Bath today. Thanks, Richmond. That's Virginia Shower and Bath,
a division of Paramount Builders,
and very proud of it.
The top golfers in Virginia are bringing their best game to the State Open of Virginia. Coverage of the State Open of Virginia is brought to you by Franco's Fine Clothing for Men, Lakeside Avenue and Short Pump Town Center.
This pepperoni was carefully placed by hand by a pizza maker at Papa John's. Just like this one, and that one over there. Ooh, and even these in the crust. Get yourself the new Epic Pepperoni Stuffed Crust Pizza, only at Papa John's.
Welcome back to the State Open of Virginia, presented by CapTech.
And we continue in a weather delay here at Independence in the second round of the 2022 State Open of Virginia. Robert Wren and Lane Casadante here. And you remember how old you were when you first picked up a golf club?
I was about 12, which by today's standards, that's very old.
I was 13. Same exact thing. It's about the time when most of our generation started playing the game. Now, I wonder if you can imagine playing in a tournament like this at the age of 13.
I'm not sure I knew what a tournament was at that age. But this next young man has gone to great heights already in his career.
He is the youngest player in this year's State Open of Virginia. How young? Take a look.
Brandon Sipe from Yorktown. He's had a pretty incredible last year, winning his age group in the Nota Begay, and then it's translated into this year, winning his age group in the Scott Robertson. Strong finish in the U.S. Open local qualifier, and to our knowledge, will probably be the youngest qualifier in State Open history.
Well, it's very good to feel to get in maybe as the youngest player, but I'd like to do good in it to make me feel even better.
He actually does not have a coach, and so he is homeschooled, and with a balance of homeschooling and just practicing, he just grinds away and just trying to get better every time.
Our homeowners association had some golf clinics. We just went up there and said, hey, let's take a look and try something here. Got him a cheap set of clubs. He's left-handed at everything, and there was right-handed clubs, so I got him right-handed clubs. And all of a sudden, he just went up there, first he could hit the ball.
The first drive I ever hit, it hit the 100-yard blue flag.
When he hit the first ball, we said, like, well, this is not normal. So we kept going up, and then we put him in a tournament, and he won the first tournament. But the unique thing about him is that, the winning, we all want to win, but the preparation to win
is something not a lot of people do.
He has a good head on his shoulders and loves the game, loves to practice, and just to get better.
I want to give him every opportunity I possibly can, and that's sort of the greatest feeling in the world, to see him happy, see him succeed, and that's, for me, that's that makes my life worth living.
They've been in on it 100%, and as long as I want to do it, they're happy with it.
Just 13 years old, only about 5'5", and he got a little wide-eyed at some of the carries off the tee that he has here this week, but he has handled himself incredibly well so far.
He really has. He's approached it with the patience of a veteran, and I was very impressed with his game. I followed him for 3 or 4 holes in the practice round, and every shot he hit was right on the button.
And we'll let you be impressed by young Mr. Sipe as he joins our Sean Robertson inside.
Thanks, Lane. The first thing that Brandon told me while we were watching that package, you mentioned about the trophy you won at the Notah Begay tournament. What did you say about that?
Well, I didn't get to keep that one. I got to keep a crystal glass one.
We need that trophy back so he can keep that. 13 years old, when somebody says to you, you're the youngest golfer in this field at the 2022 State Open of Virginia, what goes through your mind?
Well, being the youngest is really amazing. But I have to have the mindset and attitude of all the other players that are older than me.
One other thing he was also talking about was his swing. What did you say about your swing?
Looks a little weird when you watch it, but it works for me, and if it works, that's all that matters.
You've been able to get it done. Right now he is at +3, and you're saying for your first time playing in the State Open on this course, +3, pretty good right now.
Yeah. It's amazing. I'm doing really good, especially for how long the course is. And I have to find a way to do good on the last 12 holes if I can get out today.
Tell me about that. You've had a few practice rounds. You also played yesterday. You played 6 holes to this point. What do you like about the course? How is your game tailored to what this course will do?
Fairways are nice and wide. Rough's a little thick. I've been in the rough a couple times. Wants to bury down a little bit. Fairways aren't rolling as much as they should, but greens are rolling really nice. They're nice and quick, and they're rolling true.
You also mentioned to me one of his expectations was to play on Sunday. You wanted to make that final cut to play on the final day. The cut line, as we're hearing right now, is at +3, so you're right there. What would that mean if you're able to make the cut for Sunday and play on the final day?
It'd be amazing if I can make the cut tomorrow. And just got to find a way to do it and just play good.
Your mindset right now, there's a possibility that we can get some more holes in before Sunday, but there's another possibility. It's suspended until Sunday, so it could be a long day for you in about 24 hours. What's your mindset right now going into that?
Well, mindset right now is if I get to go out, I have to have the same mindset and try to make pars, birdies, and avoid getting the bogeys and make the cut. And tomorrow, I might have to play 30 or other holes, and I have to find a way to get the holes done in with a good score, and then have a good rest, and then get a good warm-up, and find a way to get a good score in the final round if I can get in.
Well, hopefully we get to see you on Sunday, play that final day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Brandon Sipe, the youngest golfer currently in the field at this year's State Open of Virginia. Lane?
Very impressive young man. And the best part about being 13 is that you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And it doesn't seem like the pressure of anything. Like being the youngest to ever qualify for the State Open of Virginia doesn't seem like he wants to do well, but it's not like it's a giant pressure on him.
And it's not overwhelming to him. And the thing that I was most impressed with about that interview was the fact that he's actually got a plan in place. And most kids at that age would be wide-eyed about this whole thing and, likely go out and shoot a pair of 85s or whatever and move on. They may take a little experience from this, but the important thing is he does have a plan, and he's a very patient young golfer.
But you walked around with he and his father earlier this week, and where the tee boxes have been set up to carry some of the grass and some of the hazard areas out here is a little bit more than he can bite off through no fault of his own. He can hit and he has hit some very good shots, and he's come up shy of the fairway. But you've noticed that he's been able to scramble and work around that fairly well.
He has. In fact, yesterday's opening round, I think he had 13 one-putt greens. Part of that is a credit to the greens here at Independence. They are pure, but you got to have the nerves of a 13-year-old to be able to convert all those par putts. But the 18th hole here is an example. It's about a 230-yard carry to the fairway, and you can see here he's given it a rip. He didn't leave anything behind there. Got it over the water, but you can see he didn't make it to the fairway, and that thick rough got him on the second shot. The important thing was he did put it in the fairway, though, to where he had a clean lie for the approach shot.
And the problem with not being able to do that is his margin for error is so much smaller than someone that can hit it maybe 40 or 50 yards longer than he can.
That's exactly right. In a hole like number 18 here, even if he drove it to the fairway, chances are pretty good he's still not going to be able to reach that green. He has to have the mindset of playing this hole like a par 5 and try to birdie it.
As Sean said, +3 right now, the projected cut line. He lies right on that. So if he does get a chance to get back out this afternoon, once we get through this weather delay, he will know exactly what's in front of him. While he is the youngest player, and he will probably be back here at Independence with as many youth tournaments as they host here and as many high school tournaments, he'll probably be back here several times again before he ever makes it to the college level. But there are a number of players from the Commonwealth's college teams that are playing here this weekend. Virginia Tech has 4 current players: Drew Brockwell, Charlie Hansen Jr., Maribon Singh, whom we saw for a little bit yesterday afternoon, and David Stanford. Other schools represented: from UVA, Sam Jung, former State Open champ from 2019, Jack Montague, and Rui Cheng are all playing under the Cavalier banner. Also this week, Radford, very well represented. Bryce Corbett, Bobby Dudek, who is under par, Patrick Gareese, and our leader, Nick Talaferro, who, as we mentioned earlier, grew up just a few minutes from here playing in high school at James River here in Chesterfield County. Christopher Newport has 4 players: Aiden Barron, Rob Kinder, who I believe put up a very good round on Sunday last year, Alex Price, and Michael Thomas. All representing the captains from Christopher Newport. George Mason, Milan Montaneja, and Nikita Gubenko are here from George Mason. Liberty is represented by Brett Reed, Isaac Simmons, and a couple of other players as well, including Jacob Mast, who is playing here with his father, Dick, who happens to be the oldest player in the tournament at 71 years of age. Jacob is a Liberty graduate. Charlie Kennedy, active at VCU, is playing, also from the University of Richmond, just down the road. This is their home course. Drew Carlin. Adam Decker, the head coach at the University of Richmond, was also in the field this year. From Longwood, Justin LaRue and Garrett Kula, who will be a freshman at James Madison this fall, have all qualified for the tournament this year. Once again, we're in a weather delay out here at Independence. It's approaching 3 hours right now. We have some rain in the area right now, a couple of lightning strikes, but nothing very close to us, so we're hoping that the golfers will be able to get out here shortly at the 2022 State Open of Virginia. Robert and I will return in a moment and give you an update on the action here at Independence. Stay with us.
The State Open of Virginia, sponsored by Haley Auto Group. 10 locations, 1 website, haleyauto.com.
No one knows golfers better than Addicted to Golf. Full golf simulator for precise club fitting. Largest selection of new and used clubs at Hampton Roads. 30-day, 100% trade-in guarantee on used club purchases. Addicted to Golf. Yorktown and Williamsburg.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means being relentless because every day matters. And having more of them is possible with Verzenio, the only one of its kind proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant, regardless of menopause status.
Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
Every day matters, and I want more of them.
Ask your doctor about Everyday Verzenio.
Ever wonder how Lidl can offer such great produce for such low prices?
Not really.
I heard Lidl married into Mother Nature's family. True story. Now they get all the perks. Private islands, mountain homes, and of course, unlimited access to perfect produce.
So you're saying Mother Nature's Lidl's sugar mama?
Sounds weird when you say it, but yes.
No one knows golfers better than Addicted to Golf. Full golf simulator for precise club fitting. Largest selection of new and used clubs at Hampton Roads. 30-day, 100% trade-in guarantee on used club purchases. Addicted to Golf. Yorktown and Williamsburg.
Welcome back to the State Open of Virginia, presented by CapTech.
Nick Talaferro leads the second round of the 2022 State Open of Virginia by 1 over Mark Lawrence and by 4 over a group of golfers that includes former State Open champ Jack Montague playing at the University of Virginia. We continue in a weather delay here at Independence just outside of Richmond, although we'll give you an update on the radar here momentarily. It is rain right now. And Robert, is this the type of situation, and again, it varies from course to course and tournament to tournament, but is this the type of situation where they'll wait for the rain to stop before sending everybody out, because the worst thing that they could do is to send everyone out and then have to bring them back in again?
Well, I'm sure they're looking very closely at the radar and what the projections are, but I think at this point they're going to be looking at this, seeing no lightning in the vicinity and everything generally moving to the east, moving away from the golf course. I think they could start looking at, over the next 10, 15 minutes, getting guys back on the practice tee to get loose to go back out on the golf course in a half an hour, 45 minutes.
Okay, we anxiously await that. And while we do, there are well over a dozen former champions of this event that are in this year's field. One of them is Jack Montague, as we mentioned. He is at 3 under par so far. The 2019 champ is inside with our Sean Robertson.
Thanks, Lane. We were talking about that 2019 championship that he won down in Roanoke. What do you remember about that championship win?
The last 2 days I played really well. I got off to a slow start that week, shot 2 over the first day, and then last 2 days I shot 66 Saturday and Sunday. Hit the ball really well, made a lot of putts the last 2 days, but definitely I remember that tournament giving me a lot of confidence going forward. So,
what does it mean to be titled as a former State Open champion?
It's definitely cool. I think it's something I'll be able to look back on when I'm older and be proud of for sure. But yeah, always fun coming back.
Played well in day one, shot a 68, was 3 off the pace before the start of play today. How do you think the course played yesterday, and how much of a change was it from the time you was on it today?
I thought yesterday, so in the practice round, the greens were definitely softer. I thought they firmed up a lot yesterday. I think last year the fairways were a little bit firmer, played a little bit faster, but I think yesterday was a good test. Greens definitely got firm. I had a couple kind of bounced off the back. Today it kind of seems similar to how it was yesterday. I don't know if this rain's going to change it a whole lot. It could be softer when we go back out, but yeah, pretty similar today.
Watching some of your highlights right now. This is approach. I can't remember which hole this was right now, but it looked like the approach is pretty good. And I've heard hits the bunker.
I had a mud ball on 18 yesterday, so went a little right on me, but was on the upslope. So luckily that bunker shot wasn't too difficult. Hit a good one. Cleaned it up for par.
We've heard a lot of the golfers talk about specifically 18 and also 15 as some of the notable holes that seen significant change. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, definitely. 15, that tee box is further back and on the right side, so it creates a different angle. You kind of have to challenge the right side of it a little bit, and it probably adds 20 yards to the hole, but I think that's pretty significant change. And then 18, they've just kind of made it longer, so maybe instead of hitting a 3-wood or some guys, maybe even 3 irons and hybrids, now it's just a driver. It just kind of forces you to hit a driver, and the fairway, it's still pretty wide if you can hit it, but yeah, I mean, it's just a longer second shot in, but I think it's a good change.
What's the mindset that you have in right now? We could play again. Yeah. We may be suspended until tomorrow morning. You could have a longer day on Sunday. What's your mindset right now?
I think at this point, I mean, it's all just kind of out of our control. We're just kind of at the mercy of the weather. So if we do get back out today, then great. If not, I think the weather looks pretty good tomorrow. So if we do have to play whatever it is, 27 or more, I think, you get off to a good start in the morning and potentially you can carry it on in the afternoon. So yeah, I don't have any problems with it. I wish we were out playing right now, but just see what happens.
There's still a chance. You could play.
Yeah, there is. Hopefully we'll get a couple in today, but
we appreciate the time, Jack. Thank you so much. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Appreciate it.
Jack Montague, the 2019 State Open champion, hoping that we get some more golf in today, Lane.
Thanks, Sean. Jack got about 2 holes in today, and he's at even for the day, 3 under for the tournament. Again, only 4 shots behind the leader right now. And we are happy to report, as we take a look at the radar here in this area, that the lightning and all of the reds and yellows that we have have gone away. Now it's only green, and it is a light rain here next to the clubhouse here off the 18th hole. We're going to bring Zach Daniel, our chief meteorologist here at CBS 6 in Richmond, back in. And Zach, it appears that we have dodged most of the bad stuff today.
Yeah, it's I don't know what's going on around here. People have been doing their dry dance, but it's split us, but it's been close enough where we've had to have a delay because of the lightning. Just the lightning alone is what is going to clear the golf course. And we have light rainfall right now. It's going to stay this way, this light rain, for probably another 20, maybe as much as 30 minutes. But as far as any additional lightning goes, I think we look good. I've zoomed out a little bit there. You can see IGC, that's Independent Golf Club. Most of the action is now to our east, just a little bit of light rain to continue to get through. And then I'm just looking at these thunderstorms that are south of Charlottesville out near Lake Monticello. These are way back to the north and west of us, but something to look at because they do have a good bit of lightning with them.
Well, as long as they stay north and west of us, then we don't have a problem with them whatsoever. And it doesn't appear, though, Robert, it doesn't appear as though the rain that we do have here is going to affect the course all that much. So once it stops and once they deem the threat completely over, they shouldn't have much trouble getting everybody back out.
No, it's not going to be a factor at all. It may slow the greens down just slightly, but I don't expect there to be any factor from the rain. The benefit that the players are going to experience, though, is that the wind has died down. And there was a fair amount of wind that kicked up in the hour or two prior to the showers moving through. So it's going to give them a little better opportunity to do some pin seeking out here.
Absolutely. We mentioned that there are well over a dozen former champions that are in this year's field. Also a couple that have won this more than once, like Mr. Wren has. One is Evan Beck, who is our defending champion from last year, and he also won this event back in 2010 as well. Evan playing out of Princess Anne Country Club. This is some of his highlights from last year on the 17th hole as he was deadlocked with Mark Lawrence. Robert, this is probably one of the best putts of the round that he had in the tournament last year, this 25-footer that he curls in on 17.
Well, it certainly was. It was a putt that you hope to make, but you certainly don't expect to make it.
And then this is his approach on 18. Said it was a gap wedge from just about 110 yards, I think. And this is after Lawrence had already come in and hit a pretty good approach shot himself. Lawrence misses his birdie, and Beck buries this for his second State Open championship. Evan turned pro after his first State Open championship, made a go of it for a little while, and then worked to get his amateur status back, and he won again last year as an amateur, making Mark Lawrence the low professional last year. But Evan Beck now a 2-time State Open champion, looking to make it 3 this year, and he is again inside with our Sean Robertson.
Thanks very much, Lane. Evan was looking at those highlights. Take me back to 17 and also that putt on 18 last year.
Yeah, it was. It's cool to watch it again. More highlights last year than this year so far, but still plenty of golf left. It's great to see it. I need to get a copy of the tape just for my confidence, but really cool to be able to birdie the last 2 holes and win by 1. It's just really special. Golf in Virginia is very important to me, and it's awesome to be the State Open champion.
It's got to be very, very important for you to say, hey, I'm a defending State Open champion. Now I'm a 2-time State Open champion. How does that, when somebody introduces you as a 2-time State Open champ, how does that?
I didn't know they were going to do that on the first tee. It was really cool. I was thinking about it over my shot. I probably shouldn't have, but it's a really cool feeling and something I'm very proud of.
The course this year, as opposed to last year, What things have you seen that are changed? What things are similar and maybe are tailored more to your game this year?
I think the course is in great shape, as it was last year. Listening to Jack earlier, I think that the greens are maybe a little softer. They started to firm up. The fairways are definitely softer. It's playing a little longer this year, especially with the new tees on 15, 18, and they're talking about doing a couple other new tees, but we haven't seen that yet. But I think it's playing kind of similar overall, excluding the firmness of the fairways.
We're looking at a few of your highlights from day one. What did you think about your performance yesterday?
There weren't many highlights. I don't know what they're going to be showing here. I just didn't really have much going. I hit one bad shot on 16, made a double, and I just couldn't really get any putts to go in. Case in point right there. Had a lot of that. So hopefully the putts will start going in and we'll be able to change the momentum a little bit.
What is it about this year with the greens? I saw a lot of guys, especially on 18, missing left on their putts yesterday. What is it about this year with the greens that maybe some guys, especially like you were mentioning yourself, those putts are not falling this year?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak for other guys, but I typically play bent grass greens, and these are Bermuda, so you got to factor in the grain. And when putts start slowing down, the grain really takes over the break. And the grain could go the opposite way of the break, and if you don't factor that, it'll just peel off at the last second if the ball loses speed. So that's something I probably should do a better job of here with the last 33 holes I got left. So
we were checking out the radar when Zach was talking about it, and you had a close eye on that about possibly maybe getting some more holes in today as opposed to having a longer day on Sunday. When you were looking at it, you were thinking to yourself what?
Yeah, it looked like it was just stuck there. I thought that when that thing spins around, it's supposed to move, but it looks like it's just kind of stuck on top of us. Mostly rain, it looks like now, but I don't know if there's another wave coming in. But as far as getting back out there, playing tomorrow, it doesn't really matter to me. We're in golf carts, so it's not like a stamina issue, and everyone's dealing with the same thing, and it's not in our control, so you just got to do what you got to do.
Well, Evan, appreciate the time. Yeah. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
Evan Beck, the defending champion here at the State Open of Virginia. Lane?
Sean, thanks. He had a little bit rough go of it in the middle of his opening round yesterday. Rallied to be at even par after the first round. He's 1 over through his first 3 holes today. But even that rally at the end of his round yesterday, hopefully that gave him a little bit of confidence. And right now he sits about 8 shots behind the leader. But as he said, with only 3 rounds here, your window of opportunity kind of shrinks up quite a bit.
Well, and when Evan heats up, he can go very low and he can accelerate very quickly on the leaders. You just don't want to get too far behind with 1 round to go. So he definitely needs to make some birdies coming in. Very unfortunate break. He said on 16 yesterday he hit a poor tee shot. It hit a cart path and went out of bounds by about that much. Yeah. So, that's an unfortunate break. But he said, candidly, I just didn't play that well. And these greens are very subtle here at Independence. The superintendent, Dan Taylor, said, whatever you read on these greens, if you cut that in half, you're going to make a lot more putts. And they're very, very subtle. And like that putt that he hit on 18 yesterday, just barely missed it on the edge. But if those start falling, he could go low in a big hurry.
We did see a lot of putts that would skim by one side of the hole or the other just here at 18 yesterday during the first round. We continue in a weather delay out here. Hopefully we will have an update on a return to action when we return at the 2022 State Open of Virginia. Stay with us.
The State Open of Virginia, sponsored by Bojangles. It's bow time.
Gather your family and friends for a great food, drink, and fun adventure in the best part of Virginia. Feast at local award-winning restaurants and enjoy the best craft brew and wine in the region. From farm to table to satisfying your sweet tooth and everything in between. Experience new flavors, live entertainment, arts, and escape in a scenic sunset for an unforgettable experience. Savor and share what you love in the best part of Virginia.
Meet a doctor who connects all the dots.
Oftentimes, people with low back pain, knee pain, or hip pain don't even recognize that it's actually coming from their feet.
Their feet? For real?
Absolutely, 100%. It can have a domino effect because their foot and their ankle aren't supported properly. Their whole body is out of whack.
Getting back into whack? Good Feet arch supports could help.
Keeping your body in good alignment, that can go a long way.
Come in for your free fitting at the Good Feet store.
You're going to want to hear this. It's your turn to sell us your car. Small cars, big cars, green cars, blue cars, classics, clunkers, even if it has a few dents in the bumper. Haley Automotive will buy it from you and will pay top dollar for it. Go to HaleyAuto.com for more information or just bring your car in to any of our 10 locations and get an instant offer. Oh, and if you just so happen to be in the market for a new car, we do trades too.
Haley has it.
Yes, we do.
It's bow time. You know our food. Now meet our crew. Brandon's frying up chicken boldly seasoned and marinated for 12 hours.
Chicken's up.
Kathy has our 49-step biscuit recipe memorized.
I could tell you, but that's a different ad.
Crystal fixes the fixins on the stovetop, while LaToya keeps the whole thing running smoothly.
Now we're cooking.
And Joe's always here, so he's on the team too.
I am?
Because at Bojangles, we're always serving up down-home, handmade Southern cooking with a side of pride. It's bow time.
I was blessed and fortunate to find Sheltering Arms.
The technology, the equipment.
It's very much state-of-the-art.
The staff motivates me.
You can't replicate the uplifting spirit that resides here.
They will help you get the power to overcome.
Now I feel like I can do this.
I would recommend Sheltering Arms to anybody.
Sheltering Arms Institute, a collaboration with VCU Health.
Hey Richmond, with interest rates on the rise and gas prices continuing to climb, Paramount's got you covered. On all bathrooms, windows, siding, roofing, and trim, we're giving you 3 years where you'll pay absolutely no interest, and we're also giving you a $500 gas card with any size purchase. Call or go online today and we'll be there tomorrow to give you our no cost, no commitment, free estimate. Locally owned Paramount Builders, because taking care of our neighbors is our business.
Welcome back to the State Open of Virginia, presented by CapTech.
And we are back at Independence Golf Club just outside of Richmond, Virginia for the 2022 State Open of Virginia. Three-time champion Robert Wren alongside myself, Lane Casadante, and we are still in a weather delay here. It's been a little over 3 hours now, but we just heard from the officials with the VSGA, and they plan on getting play back underway at 5:30 Eastern time, which is just a little over 30 minutes from now. Robert, that would give them about a 3 hour and 45-minute delay. We know what we see in baseball games when they allow them to go back out and warm up a little bit. These guys don't really get that, though, do they?
Well, they're going to have probably 15 minutes to get loose, hit a few balls, and then get out to their tees. Now, some of these tees are good ways here from the clubhouse, so they'll have to get out there pretty quickly to make their tee time. But you know, these guys, hey, the temperatures are warm out here. They'll hit 10 balls and they'll be good to go.
We have had a light rain here for about the last, I would say, half hour, 45 minutes here in Midlothian. That will probably slow the greens down somewhat, maybe make the fairways less of a run out off of tee shots, making some of these tee shots even longer than they were when they started today. And it's going to take everybody a hole or two to figure that out as well.
And they'll expect that going out, but to your point, they've got to experience that for a hole or two to see just how fast these greens are. Probably have more impact on the greens than it will be the tee shots running out, because they've been relatively soft this week anyway.
I want to welcome our viewers from around the Commonwealth, not just here in Richmond, watching us on CBS 6, but elsewhere as well, down in Norfolk, watching us on WTKR. In the Roanoke, Lynchburg area, WSET is picking up our broadcast this year. In Bristol, WEMT, and we also welcome everyone in Charlottesville, watching on MeTV 27. A few moments ago, we heard from Brandon Sipe, who is the youngest player ever to qualify for the State Open of Virginia at just 13 years of age. Brandon plays out of Yorktown. Well, on the opposite end of that spectrum, we have a golfer here who started his professional career almost 50 years ago, and he's still swinging them today, and he's in this year's tournament once again because he wouldn't miss it.
Ball's here, you put it there. There it is in my ear.
Dick Mast is originally from Ohio, but he got his first taste of Virginia golf in his very first professional tournament. He was paired with Richmonder Lanny Watkins in the first 2 rounds of the San Diego Open in 1974, and Watkins gave him a taste of the PGA Tour on the very first hole.
And he's got like 240 to a back pin tough, and didn't even take a practice swing. You know, just unbelievable sound to this 3-wood, and it just hums in there like a 7-iron, like this, and I went, whoa.
Unlike Watkins and all of the other players in that tournament, Mast is still actively competing and will tee it up again in this year's State Open of Virginia at the age of 71.
Sweetest sound in golf.
Mast still has the putter that he used in that initial tournament nearly 50 years ago, but the technology of the game's equipment has allowed him to remain competitive with other golfers not even half his age.
There we go. I mean, I hit the ball farther now than I did in my prime on the tour. 250 was a big hit for me with a wood. That was probably tour average. And 255, it was backing up. It wasn't going to roll. Now I can smooth at 250, and if I, regardless of what my son said earlier, I can carry it 270 and go 300 on a firm fairway. That might be the best tee shot I've ever hit in my life right there.
Mast is a walking Wikipedia of the game over the last half-century. When he first started playing, the game was more about shot placement and control and less about bombing the ball as far as possible.
And it was unpopular to hit it long in our day because guys that couldn't play. Now Nicklaus did it 2 times around maybe, and it would just be stupefying. 60 yards farther than his normal hit.
Mast will sprinkle in names of the greatest players in the game throughout his stories about his career. The one he tells the most comes from the 1985 TPC Championship when he played with 2 of the biggest names in history.
They announce this big crowd around, 5 deep. And now Lee Trevino with 3,000 wins and 4,000 majors. You know, And then Greg Norman, and now with 43 million wins. And so I talked to the starter earlier, and he says, and now Dick Mast with 5 boys, 5 children. And the crowd loved it. They went nuts, you know.
That's great. That attitude and a strict focus on diet, exercise, and practice have allowed Mast to remain competitive well past any usual retirement age.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he hits the ball really far for someone his age. What impresses me the most is his just ability to grind it out when he doesn't have it, and have a good attitude about it. Never seen him slam the trunk at the end of a round. He's able to accept the bad with the good.
I really enjoy preparing. Preparation is what I've done all my life, so I enjoy preparing to do the best I can.
Mast and his son Jacob now run Poplar Grove Golf Club in Amherst, just outside of Lynchburg. The layout is becoming one of the most talked about courses in the Commonwealth. The Masts each give lessons every day, and despite his decades of experience in the game, the elder Mast still trusts the younger with keeping his game in the best shape possible.
Well, I've told him everything I tried, and so he knows what doesn't work. So Jacob has become a good teacher. Being out here, I think it's helped his own game.
I think we just trust each other, that we both know what we're talking about, and it's a second set of eyes, and I'm there to kind of direct him a little bit with what he's trying to do.
That's a better draw there, isn't it?
Despite traveling the world and playing in some of the biggest tournaments there are, the Masts still place a priority on keeping the State Open as part of their yearly schedule.
Well, we circle it every year. It's a highlight for sure. I mean, he didn't get a chance to compete in this when he was playing full-time on the senior tour, and But in the last 5 or 6 years, it's definitely been the first event on the calendar we look at.
You know, really a tournament is a tournament. I've always said, I don't care what it is, I want to do the best I can do. My goal is to shoot in the 60s every day and get in contention and see if I can win the tournament. So there'll be some good young college players there. That would be fun. I'm still able, if I feel good, to move the ball, and as long as it's like that, I will compete. Did you get that? Because I don't know if I can do it again. Yeah.
Dick finished tied for 27th in last year's State Open. He was at 2 under 69 yesterday after his first round. He got to go out earlier today. He's through about 6 holes. He started on 10, playing the back 9. Unfortunately, he's 3 over today, so he's 1 over for the tournament. Still within the cut line, though. A bit of a contemporary of yours. Any anecdotes? You ever get a chance to play with him when you were both on tour?
We actually played quite a bit together, and in fact, he was the king of the mini tours back in the early 1980s before he made it out on the PGA Tour, and won time and time again. And of course, back then, a big winner's purse was about $3,000. Well, he had these kids coming along, and it was good that he made the tour when he did, because the money went up significantly at that point. But he has always been a terrific competitor. He's always had a terrific golf swing. And I've always marveled at how he and his wife had managed to have 5 kids and also manage all the travel with the PGA Tour. It's not an easy thing.
One of the things that struck me in our interview is that he said back in the day, hitting it long was considered gauche, or, you know, it wasn't appropriate to hit the ball all that long. He said Nicklaus could do it, but didn't. He would dial himself back because it wasn't accepted. It was frowned upon basically back then, which is completely opposite from the game that we know today.
Well, this is such a technical game now that, you know, all the equipment that's out there on the PGA Tour now, it's all about how far I can hit it. And, you know, honestly, today, the club heads are the size of an end table. You know, back in those days, though, we were playing with, my early years on the tour, I started with a wood driver, a real wood driver, persimmon. And, of course, it wasn't too long after that that everything transitioned to metal woods. And the metal wood heads, though, were not all that big. And over time, they've expanded and gone with lighter weight materials. And of course, then it transitioned into exotic shafts that are 2 or 3 inches longer than the shafts that we played back in the mid-'80s. So everything has changed.
And we are still in a weather delay here at the State Open of Virginia. Nick Taliaferro continues to lead by 1 over Mark Lawrence and a group of golfers 4 shots back. We are getting closer to sending them back out, and we will have more from the State Open of Virginia right after this.
The State Open of Virginia, brought to you by Peter Millar, available at Franco's Lakeside and Short Pump.
Don't fall for clickbait, fall for Cluckbait with a doubly delicious chicken deal only at Hardee's.
If you're a golfer, the Virginia State Golf Association wants you. For less than the cost of a dozen balls, membership includes a handicap index to track your progress, compete and participate in events, but membership is about more than a number. There's also the Virginia Golfer magazine, access to great courses, and most importantly, being part of a community of players who share a passion for the game. Membership is available to golfers of all ages and abilities, and sign up is quick and easy. Available 24/7. Visit VSGA.org to see which option is right for you. That's VSGA.org. Join us.
Don't fall for clickbait, fall for Cluckbait. Buy one, get one for $1 when you order in the app. Only at Hardee's.
He steps up to the tee, and this swing is as close to perfect as it gets.
So impressive. Nice long drive.
Speaking of drives, if you're in the market for a new car or need your car serviced, drive on over to any of Haley Auto Group's 10 locations. Their customer service is amazing. I was blown away.
And speaking of amazing, take a look at this shot. Wow, a hole-in-one.
Haley has it.
Yes, we do.
If you're a golfer, the Virginia State Golf Association wants you. For less than the cost of a dozen balls, membership includes a handicap index to track your progress, compete and participate in events, but membership is about more than a number. There's also the Virginia Golfer magazine, access to great courses, and most importantly, being part of a community of players who share a passion for the game. Membership is available to golfers of all ages and abilities, and sign up is quick and easy. Available 24/7. Visit VSGA.org to see which option is right for you. That's VSGA.org. Join us.
What is a dentist?
A dentist is someone who brushes their teeth. It's a guy that keeps your teeth nice and healthy.
How many teeth do you have?
Probably 24. I don't know.
What is an orthodontist?
An orthodontist is they do braces and stuff like that.
That's right. We do stuff like that and so much more at
Richmond Pediatric Dentistry Orthodontist.
Every year, the best golfers in Virginia drive, swing, and putt towards the same goal, to bring their best golf game to the State Open of Virginia.
Most of us will probably never play at the highest level, but that doesn't mean we can't dress at the highest level. For that, Peter Millar Menswear, available at Franco's.
Coverage of the State Open of Virginia is brought to you by Franco's Fine Clothing for Men, Lakeside Avenue and Short Pump Town Center.
Welcome back to the State Open of Virginia, presented by CapTech.
And we continue in a weather delay here at the second round of the State Open of Virginia at Independence, just outside of Richmond. Three-time champ Robert Wren alongside. And as we take a look at the radar, Robert, and Zach Daniel, our chief meteorologist, was here a little while ago. We are right on the edge of all of that green, and they expect it to clear out here in another 10-15 minutes or so. We have been told the golfers will resume at 5:30 Eastern time, so in about another 17 minutes or so, and the rain should be out of way, and we should be back underway.
Well, we can see some of the players on the practice tee at this time. They've got some umbrellas out. Still raining a little bit here, but nothing serious. They'll be able to get out on the golf course very quickly.
And fortunately, the rain hasn't been so severe that the conditions will affect play this afternoon. May slightly, but as you had mentioned earlier, the greens here drain incredibly well. The fairways are very well maintained. Everyone that we heard from talking with Sean inside has remarked about how much better shape this course is in this year than it was last year. And last year, it was really good. All of that is thanks to the grounds crew staff out here, led by Dan Taylor, who has outdone himself with his work this year.
Well, I've been in this business since I was 16, so that's 46 years. It's really the only business I've ever been in. It's going to be a little slow getting started because we got a lot of things to do first. I get here at 4:45. The biggest part of my job is managing people. The actual growing the grass and manicuring the golf course, that's the easy part. Everybody good? All right. Our course is the same as pretty much all, other than one thing, and that's our greens. Almost all other golf courses in our area have bent grass greens, which is a cool season grass. We have Bermuda grass from tee to green, and our greens flourish in the summer, they flourish in the heat, which makes it great having the State Open in July. So we're able to get our greens firm and fast and not worry about it. Well, we like to think that our golf course is pretty State Open ready all the time. The VSGA and the MAPGA are great to work with, and they'll be the first to tell you they're not going to tell us how to set up our golf course as far as the grass goes. They'll set up the golf course as far as pin placements and tee placements and that. They pick the spot. All we have to do is change the hole. We have a device, it's called a cup changer. So we stick it in the ground and we move the hole from one place to the next. It's the simplest thing we can do. Always something there when you did the construction that just ties you there a little more.
Dan's fantastic. Like you said, he's been here from the beginning, and he was an invaluable help to me, and he knows everything about this piece of property, and he's one of those guys that's just one of the best in the business.
I work in the greatest industry in the world, so love being here every day.
And the particulars of Independence, which opened in 2001, it's just over 7,000 yards this week. A Tom Fazio design, and of course Lester George, the architect, made a number of changes to this course a few years back, including removing several trees, several bunkers, and making it more playable for the average player. But this course was built to host this event.
It was, and it's a terrific golf course. Got some great bones to it, and the fairways, the greens are in pristine shape this year, as you mentioned. And it works hand in hand to have a great superintendent like Dan Taylor, but also an ownership group that truly understands with Gift Breed and Alan Breed, his brother. They really get it. They want to make the best improvements they can possibly make on this. And, you know, in 2024, this is going to be one of the 2 medal play courses for the USGA Mid-Amateur. The other rounds, of course, are going to be played over at Kinloch Golf Club, just not too far from here.
And all of the players that we had a chance to talk to during this weather delay this afternoon, this lengthy weather delay, which is now stretching into 3.5 hours, they have all remarked about the course was in great shape last year. It's in even better shape this year. And you can kind of tell when you watch it on TV, but really television doesn't do it justice. You be here and you can see the way it plays. And when this place first opened, it was really made its bones about how good the greens were here. Some of the best greens in the entire state of Virginia. They are back to that level, and Dan and his group have a lot to do with that.
They really do. And Dan is kind of like a farmer. You know, the weather is never quite right. And for him, you know, the greens are running at 11.5 on the stimp meter this morning. He'd like to get them up to 13. But with Mother Nature not quite cooperating, it's going to be a real push to be able to get them to that speed, because the greens generally are fairly flat here, with the exception of the ridges that you see that go through different sections. So if you do have it in the right section of the green and have a relatively flat putt, they don't have a lot of movement to them, just these very subtle breaks.
Let's take a look at the longest hole on the course out here at Independence. That would be the par 5 17th, playing at just shy of 600 yards. Robert, walk us through this.
Well, it's a par 5, very straight away. You want to hug that right center of the fairway because the fairway does slope a bit to the left. A good tee shot will get you some 30 yards beyond that left fairway bunker that you see right there. And then from there, the longest hitters in the tournament may have a shot at reaching this green in too. But the average length players are going to try to position their second shot somewhere between those 2 fairway bunkers that you see farther up. And that'll leave the players with a shot of some 100 yards. Now you see that bunker with the arrow right there. You don't want to mess with that. That's going to put you out at about 160 yards. And a bunker right there, you can see that that also ends the fairway. There's a little strip of rough right in there, so you don't want to get beyond that. But assuming you've laid it up in the proper position, this is a very deep green, over 40 yards deep, and the whole location will likely be in the back section of the green tomorrow. Today, it's just below that right bunker that you see, and it's just below the ridge that cuts across the middle of the green.
So far today, The 17th is playing as the third easiest hole with a stroke average of right at 5. 47 birdies as opposed to 40 bogeys or double bogeys, and everything else has been a par. So players haven't been able to, they've been sort of taking advantage of those par 5s, but at least on this hole, you don't feel like if you make a par, it's like losing a stroke to the rest of the field, because while it is the third easiest hole, it's not all that easy out here.
Well, I think the second shot on that par 5 is probably one of the 2 or 3 most important shots on the back 9, because if you do put it between those fairway bunkers and leave yourself with a 100-yard wedge shot there for your third, you've got a very good chance at making birdie on that hole. But we've seen time and again over the first round and a half, whatever we've gotten in today, that we've seen a number of players miscalculate on that second shot, maybe try to get it a little too far up the fairway, or they miss the tee shot in the rough and have kind of a gnarly lie that they have to contend with to try to push the ball up the fairway.
And as we mentioned, it is a Tom Fazio design, but Lester George is the architect here, made some tweaks a number of years ago, and we got to catch up with him earlier this week to talk about how he changed this course.
I was going to be an orthopedic surgeon. I was going to be a team doctor, athletic trainer. The Army got in the way of that, and I started playing a lot of golf in the military, and I was in field artillery, so I was a good terrain analyst and could read topo pretty well, so I kind of combined those two things. I got in by doing renovation and restoration, but I've done a lot of new courses too, and I've been doing it for 32 years. Giff is a wonderful owner. He and his brother Alan gave me pretty much carte blanche on the design process, as long as, you know, we met their objectives: playability, sustainability, and pace of play. Everything we did went through those 3 needles.
Lester was wonderful. He took a really, really good golf course and made it better and made it fit in today's world of golf.
It took us probably 2 months to draw it, plan it, hire a contractor. It only took us maybe 100 days to do the work and another 120 to grow it in. What can we do to make sure that we're maintaining those areas of the golf course that people are going to be on 80–90% of the time? Fairways, primary rough, secondary rough. What can we do to make it a faster round of golf and more enjoyable round of golf for the public?
The previous owner and previous architect, you know, it was how hard can we make it? How deep can we get the rough? How many bunkers can we put in? And that was all great. It was beautiful to look at, but nobody wanted to play it. It was too hard for the normal player.
We took a 5-hour and 5-minute round of golf down to 4 hours. We took out 85,000 square feet of bunkers. The 8th hole, there was massive bunkering down the right-hand side, and it was 20 or 30 feet below the green. So we moved all of that. We put the bunkers more into the holes on 3 and 8.
You know, I couldn't believe it. We would walk up on the 3rd hole, which is totally surrounded by bunkers. He just fill them all in except one. I would have never been able to see that.
The 11th hole, the par 3, we removed 4 bunkers. We added length on 12, pushed them back across the marsh, and it's a really strenuous golf hole now, where it used to be just a layup, but all the bunkers are different. All the tees are, you know, larger and probably aimed a little bit differently than they were. And plus we regrassed it, and we put the Champion Bermuda on the greens, which was only the 2nd set of Champion Bermuda greens in Virginia at the time, 2014. So those kinds of things have made the golf course suitable for the State Open of Virginia, and also suitable for the public who comes out and wants to enjoy the golf course. This has been one of my most fun projects I've ever worked on. The creative process for me is just what drives me. We're artists, and we get to do our paintings on 250-acre landscapes. I still get jazzed to get up every day and design, and the more I get to do that, the better it is for me.
And I can promise you from personal experience, some of the changes that he made, very, very favorable, and we thank you as the average and below average golfers out there that love to come out here, but we're not fond of some of the sand in some of the places where we would normally hit it. But Lester and his group did a fantastic job out here, and Dan and his group have just got it in fantastic shape.
They really do. Lester, I actually worked on a golf course design with him years ago when he was just getting into the business. And I can assure you there's nobody that takes more pride and more care in his golf course work than Lester does.
Well, we are still in a weather delay here at this second round. However, the players are back out warming up on the range, and some of them have gone out to their positions. When the horn blew at about 1:45 Eastern this afternoon, players had to stop, mark where they were at the time, and then come into the clubhouse here, and they've been watching this go through. The rain has all but pretty much stopped here just outside of Richmond, and it looks like we are set to get back underway in just about 5 minutes. 5:30 is the time when everyone is expected to hear the horn and get back underway again. As we mentioned earlier, sunset right around 8:30, so they will have roughly about 3 hours of playing time to hopefully get as much of the second round underway as possible. There are some 30 golfers who have yet to tee off in the second round, so they will get as much of their round in as possible, and a lot of them expecting a busy day on Sunday. We'll be back with more of the second round of the State Open of Virginia. Stay with us.
The State Open of Virginia, sponsored by Haley Auto Group. 10 locations, one website, haleyauto.com.
Hi, welcome to Sonic. May I take your order?
2 Sonic grilled cheese double burgers.
I'm on it. Order up.
Sonic grilled cheese double burger, ready for pickup.
Riding, 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 riding with Charlie.
For the finest service and customer satisfaction, know who you're riding with. Charles Barker Automotive.
How could this grilled cheese double burger make your life easier?
You just eat the whole darn thing in the drive-in and don't tell anybody.
Right. I've done that before.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's my form of therapy. You got
cheeseburger therapy.
Sonic grilled cheese double burger.
When you get a quiet moment, you take whatever you get.
That's right.
Relax and get away with the new hot tub or swim spa from Aqua Living. Hot tubs starting at only $24.99. Check out the revolutionary Tough Top cover with a lifetime warranty. Swim spas that heat or chill the water. Bad credit, no problem. For more information, go to shophottubs.com.
Meal for two? We've got you. At Burger King with the 2 for $10 meal deal, you get 2 sandwiches plus 2 fries and 2 drinks for just $10. One meal for you, another one for, well, you decide. The 2 for $10 meal deal, only at Burger King.
It's grilling season at Acme Stove and Fireplace. Visit our 5,000 square foot showroom for the best selection of gas and charcoal grills. Upgrade your grilling game with some of the finest barbecue grills and accessories on the market, including Napoleon gas grills, engineered gas performance and chrome accents, and full stainless steel construction. Napoleon Grills, the experts in gas and infrared grilling. Over 40 years of professional sales, service, and installation. Acme Stove and Fireplace Center, located just 4 miles west of Short Pump.
What is a dentist?
A dentist is someone who brushes their teeth. It's a guy that keeps your teeth nice and healthy.
How many teeth do you have?
Probably 24. I don't know.
What is an orthodontist?
An orthodontist is they do braces and stuff like that.
That's right. We do stuff like that and so much more at
Richmond Pediatric Dentistry Orthodontist.
144 of the Commonwealth's best golfers have again descended on Independence Golf Club outside of Richmond. 1 year ago, Evan Beck outdueled Mark Lawrence down the back nine in a battle of former champions. This year, Lawrence is back in contention again after Friday's opening round, chasing Nick Taliaferro with other former champs and seasoned pros right in the hunt. The second round of the State Open of Virginia is next.
The State Open of Virginia, live from Independence Golf Club. Presented by CapTech.
Better late than never. The weather delay out here at the State Open of Virginia has finally ended after 3 hours and 45 minutes, and round two is back underway here at Independence just outside of Richmond. Len Casadante along three-time State Open champion Robert Wren. And as you were saying, Robert, the conditions here now, it's really nice out here now. We had to go through a lot of dark clouds. There was some lightning in the area, but nothing in the last 40 to 45 minutes. Guys have warmed up. Guys are back on the course, and they are getting ready to get this second round underway again.
Well, just as these greens were starting to get some fire, this rain will slow them down a little bit, make them a little bit more receptive to hit approach shots into, but little to no wind right now, so prime conditions for players to take advantage of this.
Nick Taliaferro has a one-shot lead over Mark Lawrence as we get set to get underway again, and they should have about 3 hours worth of daylight here until 8:30 to get as much of this in as we can. It will take you out to the 12th hole where Taliaferro had to mark when the horn sounded for the weather delay, and that is going to sting after about a 3.5 hour break. He misses his par putt. This he will tap in for bogey, and that puts him back into a tie with Mark Lawrence for the lead at 6 under.
Well, that was unfortunate because when you have a rain delay like this, a weather delay, and you're faced with a short putt like that, the last thing that you want to do is miss that short putt. It just sort of takes some of the fire out of you.
So Taliaferro will now go back to 6 under. He is even for the day. And we go back out to the 4th hole. Mark Lawrence is playing the front nine first today. And this is his birdie attempt on the par 5.
Mark went at this green in 2, ended up in the front left bunker. The bunker shot out to here.
And you had mentioned before we went to our last break that the break that these guys are reading in any putt, cut it in half, and that's about where you should hit it. And easier said than done, though, for some of this.
Absolutely, especially when you come out under these conditions where now the greens are a little bit, have some dampness to them that they didn't have before the weather delays. So you could see Mark Lawrence's putt barely got to that hole, so he may have underread the pace on that just a bit.
Lawrence is playing this round with Cameron Yancey, and he walked after that as soon as he hit it, didn't like it right off the stick. And he's also playing with Ross Funderburk, who is this year's state amateur champion and had hopes of becoming just the 3rd player in modern history to win both the state amateur and the state open in the same year. Mark Lawrence was one to do that back just 2 years ago. Funderburk at 1 over here to tap in for him, and that will not go down.
It's amazing how fast this game can change. He won the state amateur just 2 weeks ago and just blazed through the field. Had very little trouble.
And here is our co-leader, Nick Taliaferro, on the par 4 13th, playing 440 yards today.
There's a fairway bunker down the left side of this fairway. The players just want to skirt that just to the right of it. You don't want any part of that fairway bunker. Still a long shot in from there with a fairly high lip on it.
Now that hole, for some of the daily play golfers and the amateurs and the hackers like myself, that plays as a par 5.
It has in the past. I understand that moving forward, that's going to be a par 4 for everyone, but it's going to be a very difficult par 4. I remember playing that hole from the same tees that they're playing, and I'm thinking, well, I've got to hit a pretty good driver and maybe a 5 or 6 iron in there. I saw a couple of these younger guys in their practice rounds the other day and said, so what club was that? One guy said, that was a wedge. The other guy said, I had a soft 9 in there. I'm like, yeah, you go ahead and do that.
It's a completely different game that they are playing as opposed to the one that we would play when we come out. And it's part of the reason why we love to do this, to watch people do things the way they're supposed to be done and the way they're able to play. But here's a better look at that 13th hole that we said has played as a par 5 in the past, but for now is going to be a par 4 with those forward tees right there.
It's about 270 yards to that fairway bunker down the left side of this hole, and you can see as you hit your tee shot out there, that fairway bunker will be in play for these players, so they're going to have to skirt just to the right of it, and you can see how quickly the fairway not only narrows in that area, but also there's a fairly generous slope from left to right that can push those balls into the right rough. Now, there's a creek that runs up the right side of this fairway. You can see it just about 10 yards right of the green, and this is one of the smaller greens on the golf course and does have some undulation and significant speed to it. So you've got to hit 2 good quality shots on this hole. The par 4 13th, 440 yards slightly uphill, and avoid that penalty area to the right. If you can walk away from here with a par, that's a good score, Lane.
I was going to say that this is one of those holes where, you know, if you don't make birdie here, you don't feel like you've lost a stroke to the rest of the field. If we check some of the stats on 13, it is playing as the toughest hole today, and with fairly good reason. There are tees that can be moved back behind that pond that we saw on the right-hand side, which would make it a very long par 4, or as it is played in the past, a par 5. But today, the #1 hole playing 4.46 strokes, so it's showing its teeth a little bit. The weather delay that we just got out of probably doesn't help golfers there, because if the fairways are a little bit wet, they won't get any roll off the tee.
That's right. No roll off the tee, and if anything, you know, the temperatures have come down a little bit, so the ball may not carry quite as far as it did earlier today. As we're sitting here, we can feel a little wisp of a wind starting to pick up again, so who knows? The weather could play a factor in the closing holes today.
All the players are now back out on the course, but as you might imagine, when you're trying to get everybody started at once, there's some breaks here, there's some lulls here, there's some delays, but they should all be back out. And as we said, 30 players have yet to even tee off in the second round. They won't finish that second round tonight. They will have to come back early in the morning, play the second round tees and pins. Then the grounds crew and the Virginia State Golf Association will change all of that around for the final round, make the cut, low 60s and ties, which right now we are projecting at +3, which would be 9 shots off the pace that is set by Taliaferro and Lawrence. And so hopefully a lot of the players will get at least most of this second round in by the time it gets really dark out here tonight.
Well, I think some of the smarter players might have ducked into Tavern 19 and gotten one of the pizzas from in there, because it's going to be a long night yet. It's a lot of golf left to play.
And we go back to the 13th, and this is Taliaferro's approach on this long par 4. He has found the right side of the fairway, which is actually not a bad angle into the screen.
Very good angle, and that is a terrific shot. That second shot of his was off of an upslope, which makes it that much more challenging. But any ball below the hole here, putting up the hill, he's got to be very happy with that approach.
And he will have that for his birdie to regain the lead. Nick is playing with Adam Marshall and Joe Suarez this year. They went off of the 10th hole, and these guys should probably be able to finish their second round before sunset here, which, as we said, is probably a little bit before 8:30 this evening. Best time of year when you have to play late into the evening because the sun doesn't set all that late. And a lot of these guys, some of them are going to have to come back tomorrow, but most of them will be able to get the second round under their belts before they come back tomorrow.
Well, and I can tell you from a player's mindset, if you know that you're kind of on the cusp of being able to finish tonight, you want to finish. You want to get this round done and behind you, get back home, get back to your hotel, wherever you're staying, get a bite to eat, and be able to put your feet up and not have to worry about getting out here first thing in the morning to complete the round.
Yeah, those rounds will probably start right around 7 tomorrow morning out here to get the second round completed. Mark Lawrence and Nick Talifero share a two-stroke lead as we continue with the second round of the 2022 State Open of Virginia from Independence. And we'll be back right after this.
The State Open of Virginia, sponsored by Bojangles. It's bow time.
At Kroger, we believe it takes the right team to bring you fresh produce. That's why we partner with farmers who grow only the best, because working together is truly what it takes to be fresh for everyone. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means being relentless, because every day matters. And having more of them is possible with Verzenio, the only one of its kind proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant, regardless of menopause status.
Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
Every day matters, and I want more of them.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
If you're a golfer, the Virginia State Golf Association wants you. For less than the cost of a dozen balls, membership includes a handicap index to track your progress, compete and participate in events, but membership is about more than a number. There's also the Virginia Golfer magazine, access to great courses, and most importantly, being part of a community of players who share a passion for the game. Membership is available to golfers of all ages and abilities, and sign up is quick and easy. Available 24/7. Visit vsga.org to see which option is right for you. That's vsga.org. Join us.
What's so great about being a Kroger Boost member? Free delivery on the Kroger products you love, and more rewards like double fuel points. Boost by Kroger Plus, a new level of membership starting as low as $59 a year. Learn more at Kroger.com.
Welcome back to the State Open of Virginia, presented by CapTech.
Second round action continues here at the State Open of Virginia at Independence. This is the 13th hole, and Nick Talifero lining up a lengthy birdie putt. Robert?
Lengthy birdie putt up the hill here, and as much as he would like to make that, I think it's very important to get it down in 2 after missing that short putt on 12 for par.
You notice the other 2 ball marks there. It looks like everyone has missed this putt to the right as Talifero taps in for his par, and he will maintain a share of the lead with Mark Lawrence. That's a little, if he saw the first 2, then he would have known which way that putt goes, but he wasn't able to get it up and didn't like it as soon as he hit it. We go back to 16, and this is Dick Mast. It's 17, excuse me, the oldest player in the tournament this week. Dick currently at 1 over par, and that is his second shot on this nearly 600-yard par 5.
And you could see that crafty veteran move that he put on it, putting it right up there in the fairway. There have been many younger players trying to get a little bit more out of that hole than they should, positioning the second shot in the rough and paying the penalty for it.
So we go back to 13, and this is Joe Suarez tapping in for his par. And he will stay at +2 after cleaning that up. And then we'll move on to the par 3 14th next. Well, we have endured a 3-hour and 45-minute weather delay this afternoon, which really only saw a little bit of rain. There was some lightning strikes in the area. We heard some thunder. It got real dark here. Thought we might see an arc at some point, but The course is in great shape. It wasn't as bad as we had thought. Luckily, Independence seemed to have some sort of dome around it, which parted the reds and the yellows on our radar and pushed it all around us. And now we're back underway trying to get this as much of the second round in tonight as possible. We go to 17, and Ryan Shook, who has found the greenery down the left-hand side of this long fairway.
And there is a lot of greenery down to the left. Not sure what kind of lie. I saw a little puff of smoke there, so it would generally mean that he had a pretty tight lie down there, that he could get a lot of club on it, but couldn't advance it to the green.
And it looks like he has laid up about 100, maybe 175 to 100 yards out, where almost all of the players have. This is impossible to reach in two, so it is easily a 3-shot par 5. Play is back underway in the second round of the State Open Virginia, with Mark Lawrence and Nick Talaferro leading the field by 2. We'll have more from Independence right after this.
The State Open of Virginia, brought to you by Peter Millar, available at Franco's Lakeside and Short Pump.
Don't fall for clickbait, fall for Cluckbait with a doubly delicious chicken deal only at Hardee's.
Ever wonder how Lidl can offer such great produce for such low prices?
Not really.
I heard Lidl married into Mother Nature's family. True story. Now they get all the perks. Private islands, mountain homes, and of course, unlimited access to perfect produce.
So you're saying Mother Nature is Lidl's sugar mama?
Sounds weird when you say it, but yes.
Don't fall for clickbait, fall for Cluckbait. Buy one, get one for $1 when you order in the app, only at Hardee's.
I was blessed and fortunate to find Sheltering Arms.
The technology, the equipment.
It's very much state-of-the-art. The staff motivates me.
You can't replicate the uplifting spirit that resides here.
They will help you get the power to overcome.
Now I feel like I can do this.
I would recommend Sheltering Arms to anybody.
Sheltering Arms Institute, a collaboration with VCU Health.
The State Open of Virginia is brought to you by Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Mr. Fix-It presents Making a Difference in RVA. Today's difference maker, 5 O's Tiki Foundation.
The 5 O's Tiki Foundation was created to help law enforcement officers and their families in time of need. In addition, we like to give back to youth programs, the Cadet Post in Henrico, Hanover, and Chesterfield counties.
A couple years back, we took a tiki bar to Charlotte, North Carolina, and people would come in and they'd ask for a drink, and they'd ask how much. We said, hey, it's for a donation. So we raised $6,000 in 3 days, and to this day, I think we've given out over close to $40,000 to officers in need and their families.
Help 5 O's Tiki Foundation make a difference today. Go to 5OsTikiFoundation.com to support our men and women in blue and their families.
Making a Difference in RVA is sponsored by Mr. Fix-It. Know of another great community organization? Nominate them today at makingadifferencerva.com.
This pepperoni was carefully placed by hand by a pizza maker at Papa John's. Just like this one, and that one over there. Ooh, and even these in the crust. Get yourself the new Epic Pepperoni Stuffed Crust Pizza, only at Papa John's.
Beat the traffic with Kristen on CBS 6 This Morning. Welcome back to the State Open of Virginia, presented by CapTech.
Go here as Dick Mass' third shot at the par 5 17th. Pin placement today in the lower right hand part of the green, and then playing with Ryan Shook. This is his approach. And Ryan Shook in there at about 3 feet. And that should set him up for a birdie, get him back closer to even.
Well, you can see how receptive that whole location is just below the ridge that runs across the middle of this green. So the players have a backstop here, and even just in front of the hole location is hitting slightly into an upslope. In today's hole location, relative to yesterday, wide open. This is a hole you can go hunting for a birdie on.
Yesterday, the pin was tucked way over onto the left side of the green near the bunker that guards that side of the green. And today, as you mentioned, they still need to hit a third shot into here. But not only is the pin placement much more receptive, but after 3 hours, about an hour of rain or so, it's probably even more so. And as we heard just a little while ago, Dick Mast at 71, the oldest player in the tournament this year, began his professional career at the San Diego Open the first week of January back in 1974. Richard Nixon hadn't even left office yet. Gas was about 53 cents a gallon back then. And no one who played in that San Diego Open with Dick Mast is still active today, but he is.
And still playing at a very high level.
And that birdie putt just falls off to the left for Mast. He will tap in for his par to remain at 1 over.
Yeah, Dick got off to a little bit of a slow start today. Bogeys at 13 and a double bogey at 15. I would look for him to fight his way back into it, though. He's a strong competitor.
Third member of this group today is Drew Carlin.
And Drew should have learned a little bit of something off of Dick Mast's putt. Virtually the same line. Going to turn just a bit left as it approaches the hole. Just didn't give it enough pace.
Up that hill, it's probably a little slower than you expect. We go to the 14th hole, the par 3, and this is our co-leader Nick Talifero on the 205-yard 14th.
205 to the middle of the green, 215 all the way to the back hole location today. You've got to get it over a ridge to get it close. There's just not a lot of room up there.
14 today, playing as the 6th toughest hole so far. 20 birdies and 67 bogeys or double bogeys at the par 3 today. Ryan Shook, who had the best approach of the 3, this to get him to 5 over and closer to the cut line. And that will help. He is now just 2 shots outside of our projected cut line of +3, which will be made after this second round is over, which will probably come sometime tomorrow morning. We go back to the fairway at the par 4 16th, and this is Terry Kim.
Beautiful drive here. Covered that right-hand fairway bunker. It's about a 290-yard drive to carry that bunker, but it does play downhill. This will set up with a nice wedge to this front right hole location today. More front middle.
And that has found the right-hand side of that green. And a little bit deep, not what he was intending to do with that. That pin this morning right down in front, which you would think would be a little more accessible, but not on that shot.
Players guarding against going in that deep front left bunker.
We go back to the par 5 17th where Harrison Brink will hit his second shot. Again, as Robert, as you have mentioned a couple of times, you feel like this is probably one of the most important strokes on this course today, or this weekend for that matter.
Very important. The second shot, you almost have to play it like a long par 3, and the area that he just hit it into, it's reasonably generous, but you just can't afford to miss it. You hit it in the rough left or right, it leaves a very difficult pitch to get close.
Harrison is playing with Brad Chambers and Tim Lewis this afternoon. Chambers right now 1 shot north of the projected cut line. His second shot here into the par 5. And that one might have gone a little too long.
A little too long, and you can see that ball ended up in the light rough. There's a section of rough about 30 yards long between the layup in the fairway and the green, and I think he felt like maybe if I hit it just hard enough and I get a good bounce, it might run through there. This rough is not overly penal, though, so he should be able to get that up and down.
But after an hour's worth of rain, it makes it even that much tougher to get through. And this is Tim Lewis with a fairway wood, maybe thinking the same thing. Awful tough to go for this green in 2 here, regardless of what kind of tee shot you've hit. For that reason, among others, he is off to the right.
And that is a fairway bunker right there. So if he's in that fairway bunker, he's got that tricky little 60-yard fairway bunker shot. That is not an easy proposition.
We are back underway with the second round of the 2022 State Open of Virginia from Independence after a lengthy weather delay this afternoon. We will get as much of this in as we can. As you can see, Nick Taliaferro has a one-shot lead over Connor Burgess and Mark Lawrence by 3 over a group of golfers, including Andrew DeKeister, Chris O'Neill, former champ Jack Montague, and Tim Ritter. And when we return, we will have more of this second round from Independence Golf Club with the 2022 State Open of Virginia.
Order for a Sour Patch Kids slush float.
How about the Sour Patch Kids?
I'm on the ice cream.
Sonic Sour Patch Kids slush float.
If you're a golfer, the Virginia State Golf Association wants you. For less than the cost of a dozen balls, membership includes a handicap index to track your progress, compete and participate in events, but membership is about more than a number. There's also the Virginia Golfer magazine, access to great courses, and most importantly, being part of a community of players who share a passion for the game. Membership is available to golfers of all ages and abilities, and sign up is quick and easy. Available 24/7. Visit vsga.org to see which option is right for you. That's vsga.org. Join us.
Ice cream.
Boom.
Sour Patch Kids bits.
Boom.
A slush.
Take a bite, and then we'll all harmonize.
Okay, ready?
Sonic Sour Patch Kids slush float. Sign me
I think we're a girl group now.
Sign me up.
I was blessed and fortunate to find Sheltering Arms.
The technology, the equipment.
It's very much state-of-the-art. The staff motivates me.
You can't replicate the uplifting spirit that resides here.
They will help you get the power to overcome.
Now I feel like I can do this.
I would recommend Sheltering Arms to anybody.
Sheltering Arms Institute, a collaboration with VCU Health.
The State Open of Virginia is brought to you by Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Mr. Fix-It presents Making a Difference in RVA. Today's difference maker, 5 O's Tiki Foundation.
The 5 O's Tiki Foundation was created to help law enforcement officers and their families in time of need. In addition, we like to give back to youth programs, the Cadet Post in Henrico, Hanover, and Chesterfield counties.
A couple years back, we took a tiki bar to Charlotte, North Carolina, and people would come in and they'd ask for a drink. And they'd ask how much. We said, hey, it's for a donation. So we raised $6,000 in 3 days. And to this day, I think we've given out over close to $40,000 to officers in need and their families.
Help 5 O's Tiki Foundation make a difference today. Go to 5OsTikiFoundation.com to support our men and women in blue and their families.
Making a Difference in RVA is sponsored by Mr. Fix-It. Know of another great community organization? Nominate them today at makingadifferencerva.com.
This pepperoni was carefully placed by hand by a pizza maker at Papa John's. Just like this one, and that one over there. Ooh, and even these in the crust. Get yourself the new epic pepperoni stuffed crust pizza, only at Papa John's.
Beat the traffic with Kristen on CBS 6 This Morning. Welcome back to the State Open of Virginia, presented by CapTech.
And we're back a few moments ago. This is Mark Lawrence on the 7th hole. Excuse me, the 6th hole out here at Independence, par 4. And that was his chip from the back of the green. Lawrence dropped a shot after a bogey at 5. And he's not entirely happy with that approach either.
Well, I think sometimes having an extended delay like that, if you don't get off to a good start, you start getting a little impatient, a little bit frustrated with it. Marsh just got to find his rhythm again. He'll be fine.
This is Ross Funderburk out of Hidden Valley Country Club down in the Roanoke area, the state amateur champion. He's got himself back to even par, and this will be for his birdie.
And it looked like it bobbled just a little bit off the putter. Needed just a bit more speed to hold the line.
And now for Lawrence, this is to avoid back-to-back bogeys.
Mark told me that he spent some time last week working on his putting with Bob Rotella up in Charlottesville, the famed sports psychologist that's helped countless players over the years. Davis Love, Brad Faxon, Tom Kite, so many players. And of course, one of his proteges, Brad Faxon, has been helping Rory McIlroy, tied for the lead in the British Open.
And that par putt will slide by on the right-hand side, so Lawrence will have that for a second consecutive bogey, and that will drop him 2 shots behind Nick Talifero. Robert, as you were saying just before we came back, no one is really grabbed this tournament by the throat just yet, and some of it has been there for the opportunity. This is a moment ago at the par 3 14th. That's Talifero's birdie opportunity.
Yeah, there's no doubt, you know, it's difficult when you've spent almost 4 hours waiting around the clubhouse trying to figure out what to do. Cornhole can only go so far, but it takes a while to get your rhythm back.
And we want to bring in the 3rd member of our broadcast crew, the 4th member, excuse me. Our Chip Tarkenton is out with this group, and this is their tee shot on 15. Chip?
Well, Lane and Robert, the guys have just gotten up there and just started swinging away. We've got one in play on the left side, and the other 2 are down on the right side of the fairway, and they will have tough angles coming into this par 4 that is a very difficult second shot if you hit it the right side of the tee. When Robert and I were out early this morning, we noticed that this course has been beautifully laid out, but that right side, if you go down there, it is still fairway, but is not a fairway to get to the green. It is very difficult from there. We'll get a chance to go over and look at those balls here in just a second, exactly where they wound up.
We're going to take another look at the hole that they just finished, which is the 14th, the par 3. Robert, this one playing anywhere from 185 to 205 yards.
Right, and today's hole location is in the very back portion of this green on a shelf that's only about 16 or 17 yards deep. So a ridge that really defines this green into 2 different sections, a lower section on the front left over there where you can see that whole location, and another section of the green on a back shelf. The challenge, of course, is if you try to carry a ball all the way on that back shelf, you're coming in with a hybrid or a long iron with a fairly flat trajectory, and if it carries on the upper shelf, it may well go through the green. Now, there's that front right bunker that you definitely want to avoid with today's hole location, because that would leave you with about a 25-yard bunker shot. And you can see the other arrows defining the slope coming back toward the front of the green. So a fairly busy green here at the par 3 14th hole.
And we'll come back here live at 18. Or a moment ago, rather. This was Dick Mast's approach to the par 4 18th.
Well, and you can see Dick was well back there. This is probably a push for him these days to get it very far up into that fairway. 230-yard carry off of the tee that they're currently using.
And playing with Mast in this group is Ryan Shook, who has missed the green over here to the left, and we're going to bring in our Sean Robertson, who is here greenside with us at 18.
It's like
Shuck was unable to get his shot onto the green on his third attempt to make the green. And Dick Maas, the only one in this group that was able to get on the green in 2 shots, and he's got a long opportunity for birdie coming up.
Well, Sean, I can imagine that every shot on this hole is long for Dick these days. So that's 2 impressive efforts to get it on this green.
And Robert, you were talking about it earlier today about that ridge. He was able to get it just, I guess, on the backside of that ridge. He was unable to get it on the slope to go down to get closer, but he's got an opportunity here for birdie.
This is some 55 feet going up over that ridge right there. He would welcome a 2-putt here.
Yeah. We'll settle for a par opportunity right there.
Mast will have that to tap in to stay at 1 over. Unfortunately, he's 3 over today. And this will be the turn for him as he started on 10 earlier today. So he still has his second 9 to play on the front 9 here this afternoon.
The good news is that it appears that this group will get their second round finished, so he won't have to come out early in the morning to complete.
Right, exactly. Mass playing with Drew Carlin and Ryan Shook, as we said, and this is Shook once again, still trying to get his way onto the putting surface.
Yeah, where he missed the green back left, that rough down there is very thick and very inconsistent in how the ball would come out. I think the goal here is just to get out of here and make sure that you don't make worse than 5, and he's got a lot of work left to salvage a 5.
I don't think he thought that would ever stop as short as it did coming from that off of that hill.
And some of that may still be that they don't have a feel for these greens yet and the pace after the rain.
Go back out to 15, where our Chip Tarkenton is watching Nick Talifero with his approach out of the bunker.
Lane out of the bunker, he is falling a little bit past the pin. It was about 117, but it got a flyer coming out of that bunker, and it really, really exploded out. So he'll be on the backside of that green.
And that will be for his 3 as Talifero tries to extend his lead as he holds it by 1 shot. And back here to 18, Sean, Dick has about, looks like about 5-6 feet for his par.
Yeah, probably about that range for his par opportunity. We just saw Ryan Shook miss an opportunity to save par, so he's got about another 5 to 7 footer for a bogey chance coming up. Oh, check it, I'm sorry, Drew Carlin just attempted off the fringe, and he was coming up a little bit short. This is Ryan Shook with an opportunity here for a bogey.
And boy, Robert, if you do not get on this putting surface, especially here at 18, with as far back as that pin is today, it is a struggle to get up and down for 4.
And of course, nothing more frustrating as a competitive golfer than to make 2 consecutive mistakes.
And that he will still have a good 3 or 4 feet coming back after that, and he will take a moment to think about it. Back we go to the front 9, and Mark Lawrence with his chip up at the par 3 7th. And a moment ago, playing with Mark Lawrence, this is Cameron Yancey from just off the green.
How about that? Former UVA player. Doesn't play a lot of tournaments anymore, but I'm sure it's fun for him to get back out here and see some old friends and play some good golf.
I will tell you this, before Lester George got his hands on this course, he would have been hitting out of a bunker from that location, because there was a huge bunker to the short and right of this green coming from off the tee, and this is one of the longer par 3s out here at 220 yards. This is Ross Funderburk for his birdie at 7 to get back into the red numbers.
Lane, you sound as though you speak from experience from that bunker.
Been there once or twice, yes. I think they were considering naming an umbrella after me at that bunker. I was on the beach so many times. But for like we say, for guys that are, people that come out and play who are not at the State Open level, that was a bailout area because a long par 3 like that, that's where a majority of tee shots, if they don't make the green, that's where they would have ended up. And that was a chip out of there as opposed to a sand wedge, which may or may not stop depending on the landing, depending on the lie that you got. As we continue with the second round, Nick Taliaferro continues with a one-shot lead over Connor Burgess and Mark Lawrence. Group of golfers 3 shots back include former Open champ Jack Montague at -3. And we go back to our leader at the 15th hole, and Chip Tarkenton rejoins us once again.
Yeah, Taliaferro really got a great shot out of that bunker. On this green this morning, one thing we found out is that you should play about half the break that you think there is, especially on this green. This green, very difficult to read, and it looks like there's a lot more break than there turns out that there is. But he's feeling pretty good out of that bunker shot.
That was a terrific bunker shot, Chip. That's not easy, especially when the hole location is right on the front of the screen. It's a very narrow section of the green.
Yeah, and he got a lot of backspin coming out of that bunker as well. That ball spun back about 6 or 7 feet. And that should be an easy tap in for his par.
Yeah, I'm sure after that terrific bunker shot, he's a little disappointed to walk away with par.
He's definitely, I would think, a little disappointed after that. But I got to tell you, the big disappointment was coming out and having that short putt on 12 that he missed, and just not ready to go. I think that first one just slipped off, but he's gotten himself back together really well, and he's hit nothing but very solid shots since.
Adam Marshall missing an opportunity to get to 3 over, excuse me. He will putt in, and that will keep him at 4 over, just 1 shot off the projected cut line. Taliaferro also playing with Joe Suarez out of Kinloch, just right over the James River from where we are here at Independence.
Joe's got an interesting background, played the Philippine Golf Tour from 2013 to 2021. A lot of competitive experience.
And he will tap in for his 4 at the 15th.
Back on the park.
And now our leader to stay at 6 under. And Taliaferro is in. So he will maintain his 1-shot lead now over Connor Burgess, as Mark Lawrence has found back-to-back bogeys on his front 9 and has slipped to 2 shots back at 4 under. Andrew DeKeister, Chris O'Neill, and Tim Ritter are part of a group 3 shots off the lead. We'll be back with more of the second round of the State Open of Virginia right after this.
The State Open of Virginia, sponsored by Haley Auto Group. 10 locations, 1 website, haleyauto.com.
No one knows golfers better than Addicted to Golf. Full golf simulator for precise club fitting. Largest selection of new and used clubs at Hampton Roads. 30-day, 100% trade-in guarantee on used club purchases. Addicted to Golf. Yorktown and Williamsburg.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means being relentless, because every day matters. And having more of them is possible with Verzenio, the only one of its kind proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant, regardless of menopause status.
Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
Every day matters, and I want more of them.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Ever wonder how Lidl can offer such great produce for such low prices?
Not really.
I heard Lidl married into Mother Nature's family. True story. Now they get all the perks. Private islands, mountain homes, and of course, unlimited access to perfect produce.
So you're saying Mother Nature's Lidl's sugar mama?
Sounds weird when you say it, but yes.
No one knows golfers better than Addicted to Golf. Full golf simulator for precise club fitting. Largest selection of new and used clubs at Hampton Roads. 30-day, 100% trade-in guarantee on used club purchases. Addicted to Golf. Yorktown and Williamsburg.
Welcome back to the State Open of Virginia, presented by CapTech.
Second round continues here at Independence with Nick Taliaferro holding a one-shot lead over Connor Burgess, who is 2 under through his first 3 holes of the day. Mark Lawrence has dropped a pair of shots and is now 2 back. And then a trio of golfers are 3 shots back. Leader is on the par 4 16th. Teed off a few moments ago. We'll catch up with Chip and the leaders in a few moments. We're going to go back to 17 now. And this is the birdie opportunity of Terry Kim, looking to get into red numbers.
You remember Terry tried to reach this par 5 in 2, came up in the rough patch just short of the green. And that'll be a disappointing par for him.
And that will keep him at even par. The leaders are on the par 4 16th. Robert, what do we know about 16?
Well, this is a challenging driving hole because you can see that fairway bunker down the right side, some 290 yards to cover that, but it does play downhill. But you can see just immediately right there where that arrow is, this fairway draws in dramatically, goes from some 45 yards wide to about 25 yards wide. And the fairway is sloping away from you toward the left rough. So a good tee shot here, though, will put you down where you've got a wedge into this green. And today's hole location, where you can see the 13-yard mark right there, it's just on the front of the green over a false front. So a good tee shot will put you in position for this to be a birdie hole.
And a moment ago, this was Taliaferro's tee shot on 16.
There's that fairway bunker down the right side the players try to cover. If you get it in the left rough and avoid that right bunker, it's some pretty nasty rough over there, especially with a short iron into this green, very difficult to control.
And as we said, playing with Taliaferro is Joe Suarez and Adam Marshall. And this will be Suarez playing his second shot.
This tee shot played a bit farther back, gives the players a lot more room to hit to. But as a result, you're going to have probably 2 more clubs into this green.
And Suarez just misses the front lip of this green on the left-hand side, but should still have an uphill look at a birdie once he gets there. Also with this group, Adam Marshall. One shot over the projected cut line as of right now.
Now here's a shot out of that left rough. Makes it a little bit less controllable, but that's a good shot from there. Anything that you can keep on the same level as the hole location and keep it on the surface is a good shot from the rough.
And our leader has pushed it into the rough over there. Chip, what kind of lie does he have?
Really down in that Bermuda rough, and it is difficult to get a club link on it. He is 138 from the pin, so that may put him a little between clubs as well. And Robert, to me, his best bet is to try to go right on this thing just a little bit, just like you saw Marshall do a moment ago.
I think you're right, Chip. You know, you got to hedge your bet on this. You don't want to be in that front left-hand bunker. It's a very deep bunker. These players are skilled enough to where they should be able to get it up and down from there. But again, to your point, Chip, let's get this ball on the green surface somewhere. And you could see in the very left edge of the camera shot there, he's going to have to go right over the edge of the bunker to get it close. So it's best to play it a little bit to the right of the hole location.
That's where he aimed. And that's a golf shot there, Robert, because that ball was really way down. In fact, you could only see about the top of the ball, and it was surrounded by that Bermuda.
That was terrific. We had a good camera shot of the actual lie, and it was not fun for him to hit, I'm sure. And he's got to gain a lot of confidence from that shot.
Well, that shot, obviously, when he got on it, he kind of shook his head a little bit walking up to it. Not disgusted, but you just could tell he couldn't believe how deep it was in that rough. And he really, really, if you look at the swing again from where I'm standing, he really got down and threw that ball and was able to direct it just where he needed to get it. And that's a great shot from here, I'm telling you.
That was a young man shot out of the rough.
Yeah, and those are one of those we mentioned earlier with Mark Lawrence, and Sean talked with him during our weather delay earlier about the wrist issues that he says he's through and got a cortisone shot last week. But those are some of the shots where any kind of hand or wrist injury or forearm injury, that's where you really feel it, because you just don't have enough to get through the rough with your swing like that.
It's something that's always in the back of your mind, and when you see a ball that's sitting down in deep rough like that, you sort of cringe as a player with an injury, because you want to get down after it, but you know I might pay the price for it too.
So Taliaferro will have roughly 15 to 18 feet for his birdie. Now as we come back to the 8th hole, the par 5 on the front, this is Mark Lawrence, who has reached this green in 2. And this will be for an eagle to get back those 2 strokes that he gave up back on 5 and 6.
Now this par 5 8th is right up Mark's wheelhouse. Known for his ball striking. Look at this. Oh, wow. My gosh. Just that far away from making an eagle and getting both strokes back in a hurry. Nonetheless, he's going to get some positive momentum from this birdie.
That's a tap-in birdie, the best kind. And now we go back to 16, and this is Joe Suarez with his chip up for birdie. He will leave that short and have that for his 4. Chip next to play is Adam Marshall, just inside the lip on the right-hand side of the screen.
Another one of those subtle independence breaks. The putt moves back toward the front of the green. but very difficult to read.
And that will keep Marshall at 4 over. And now Taliaferro. Chip, how far does he have to extend his lead?
It appears that he's got about 25 feet here. Now, this is going to be a fairly fast putt, putting down the hill. A little bit faster, I think, than the players would think. Chip and I were out early this morning putting to these hole locations, and this is one that typically would run out 4 or 5 feet past the hole.
Well, it's not the exact same line that Marshall had. It's close. We saw Marshall's ball die to the left. If Taliaferro went to school on that, he will sink it.
That is a heck of a birdie.
From where he was in the rough on the left-hand side.
You could see him look back down the fairway as if to look at that lie again and say, I got you.
Another one of those one-putt greens.
He knows.
That can make all the difference between winning, finishing second, or finishing out of the top 10.
He knows that that was a bonus birdie right there. I'm sure when he saw that lie, he wasn't expecting a walk-off with a 3.
So that birdie on 16 will give Nick Taliaferro a one-shot lead again over Connor Burgess. Mark Lawrence is 3 back at 4 under. Excuse me, he's 5 under now with the birdie that he just had on the 8th hole, so Lawrence is 2 shots back. And as we said, we had a 3-hour and 45-minute weather delay out here, and that has delayed this second round quite a bit. Our time for today's broadcast is slowly coming to an end, but we will be back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. The players will come back, finish round 2, and then the final round of the State Open of Virginia will be here at 4 o'clock. For Robert Wren, Chip Tarkenton, and Sean Robertson, I'm Lane Casadante. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. We will see you tomorrow for the conclusion of the State Open of Virginia.
Thanks for watching the State Open of Virginia, presented by CapTech.
The top golfers in Virginia are bringing their best game to the State Open of Virginia.
Coverage of the State Open of Virginia is brought to you by Franco's Fine Clothing for Men, Lakeside Avenue and Short Pump Town Center.
It's bow time. You know our food. Now meet our crew. Brandon's frying up chicken boldly seasoned and marinated for 12 hours.
Chicken's up.
Kathy has our 49-step biscuit recipe memorized.
I could tell you, but that's a different ad.
Crystal fixes the fixins on the stovetop, while LaToya keeps the whole thing running smoothly.
Now we're cooking.
And Joe's always here, so he's on the team too.
I am?
Because at Bojangles, we're always serving up down-home, handmade Southern cooking with a side of pride. It's bow time.
Summer is here, and Bathfitter has savings that sizzle. Call now and receive 0% interest for 24 months on your tub or shower upgrade. Give your bathroom the makeover it deserves with our exclusive one-piece wall system and installation in as little as 1 day. All with our lifetime worry-free warranty on labor and materials. Save this summer on the bathroom of your dreams. Call now and find out why Bathfitter is the perfect fit.
Next time you need your car serviced, bring it to any of our 10 locations.
Haley's service departments are fast, reliable, and we offer a price match guarantee, so you'll never pay too much to get your car fixed. We want to make sure each and every customer is completely satisfied. That's why we have factory-trained technicians who service all makes and models.
And since we all have somewhere to be, we offer free shuttle service too.
Haley has it. Yes, we do.
Pretty convenient, right?
Relax and get away with the new hot tub or swim spa from Aqua Living. Hot tubs starting at only $24.99. Check out the revolutionary Tough Top cover with a lifetime warranty. Swim spas that heat or chill the water. Bad credit, no problem. For more information, go to shophottubs.com.
Working for you. CBS 6 News at 6 starts now.
I just want everyone to pray for Prince Street. Honestly, this is a really tight community.
Right now at 6, looking to the future after a massive fire took out nearly an entire block in downtown